Welcome to my first look at Zaō, a Japanese legendary tier cruiser, which is available as a Bureau project, and we'll have more information about that later. But the ship has 20 torpedoes that you can potentially get into water at any one time. It has massively effective armor-piercing shells, and it does start fires pretty quick. So the only problem with the ship really is that it can be a glass cannon if you get in the wrong position. So with that, let's check into the setup of the ship and the commander, who is Arpeggio Haguro. And the base trait is deck is on fire. Chances of the cruiser HE shells causing fire and the cruiser main battery range are all improved. And then for inspirations, I have Mimbelli. Time to make a move. Cruiser main battery reload time is improved. And then we have Charles Madden. Main battery traverse speed is improved, as is the main battery reload time. Then here for the skills, I went with Burn It Down XXL to improve the chances of the HE shells causing a fire. And then I doubled up on that with Igniter. So with all these skills, we really do kind of increase the chances of causing a fire. Then we have Hellfire for the third skill, which improves the armor penetration of the HE shells, and the cruiser's main gun HE shell damage is also improved here. So I think if you're going to HE, you definitely want to max this out, but the ship is also pretty effective as an armor-piercing beast, as you're going to see in the replay. But here we went with Steer Clear to improve the rudder shift time and the steering gear repair time. Legendary skill is Refill Station, which improves the main battery reload time yet again, and a special effect improves the cruiser main battery range, and that is active when you're within 2 kilometers of an allied ship here at Legendary 2. Legendary 4, you go all the way up to 3.5 kilometers. All right, the upgrades for the ship. Main battery mod 2 improves the main battery traverse speed, and the traverse speed of the main guns was kind of suspect initially without any modifications to the commander or upgrades here. So we went with main battery mod 2. Ship is plenty accurate without main battery mod 1. So steering gears mod 2, we improved the steering gears. The rudder shift time here is improved by 20%. Then we doubled up on the steering gears. Steering gears mod 3. Rudder shift time is improved by another 20%, and a steering gear repair time is improved by 80%. Here we went with Gunfire Control System Mod 2, and it improves the main battery dispersion and the main battery range. And then we went with the default upgrade here for the torpedoes, Type F3. Reload time is 171 seconds. And I think that worsens the reload time here. Maximum damage is 23,767. Range is 11 kilometers, which is pretty good. Speed is 67 knots, and that took a hit, I think. And the detectability range of the torpedoes is 1.7 kilometers. All right, let's check the loadouts. And you have your high explosive shells, which are pretty effective, our piercing shells, which are also effective, and the torpedoes here, which we'll talk about in a minute. Damage control party, duration is 5 seconds, reloads every 57 seconds, and there's an unlimited number of those consumables. Here you either have sonar or AA defensive fire. I went with the sonar. Detectability of torpedoes is 3.1 kilometers, ships is 4.4 kilometers. Runs for 96 seconds, reloads every 171 seconds, and we have 2 of those consumables. Then we have 3 catapult fighters, which follows the ship and attacks enemy aircraft. It also will do some spotting for you. Duration is 100 seconds, reloads every 76 seconds, and there are 3 of those. Repair party partially restores the ship's HP by repairing any light damage at the rate of 269 hit points per second. Duration is 28 seconds, reloads every 57 seconds, and there are 2 of those consumables. Here, this could change depending on the match, but I did go with the Epic Battle Booster to improve the main battery range as far as possible here. So the specs are going to reflect the booster, I believe. Maximum movement speed is also improved, and the cooldown time of all consumables is improved as well. Ship does not come with any camo, but this historical camo was sitting here, and you can create this historical camo for 75 buckets of paint, and I do have some videos about that, which I will leave details to down below. But I do have the historical camo maxed out. CD detectability, range, and incoming fire dispersion is 4.5% respectively. And then the specs: survivability hit points is 44,900. Armor is 6 to 203 millimeters with a 19% torpedo damage reduction. Almost non-existent, I'm going to say. And then the artillery, we have 12 guns. They reach out to 17.1 kilometers. Reloads every 11.8 seconds. Traverse time is 24 seconds, which is not that great for a cruiser, I don't think. HE shells have a maximum of 3604 with a 25% chance of setting fire. Armor piercing is 5,400 maximum, and they will citadel opposing cruisers. And you do have a couple secondaries right there. Torpedoes, you have 20 torpedoes. You have 10 torpedoes on each side, but they are kind of in the rear of the ship. Reloads every 171 seconds. Traverse time is 7.2 seconds. Maximum damage is 23,767. Range is 11 kilometers with a speed of 67 knots. AA defensive fire, you will probably clear the sky with the Zaō if you get into a match with an aircraft carrier player that wants to try that out. Maneuverability, 35.5 knots maximum speed. Turning circle radius, though, is almost 1 kilometer. It's not that great. Rudder shift time is 3.4 seconds, and quicker rudder shift time I don't think would really make all that much of a difference because the turning circle radius, as I said, is almost 1 kilometer. Concealment, detectability and range by sea is 12.2 kilometers, range by air is 7.6, and while you're firing into smoke, it is 7.3. Armor, here is the armor. There is green armor there, 25 to 26 millimeters, but the sides are kind of protected a little bit with 29 to 33, which can cause 406 millimeter and lower caliber shells to ricochet, but don't let that fool you. If you go out in the open water, you will get taken out by everybody who is taking an aim at you. So let's, with that, let's take a look at the Citadel. And you do have a little turtleback, and the Citadel is kind of beefy here, but still, I did not last that long when I was out in the open water and had a bunch of people taking shots at me. So Citadel does look like a turtleback. It does look like it's protected very well, but as always, be careful out there in the open water. All right, and then the overview. Sure shot the shells with a good ballistic trajectory, maintain velocity, making aiming easier, and that is a fact. The ship is pretty darn accurate, and the ship also has an above average HE shell damage. Superior HE damage, and it has a big yield from the big time torpedoes that we saw. You just have to get ahead. So then the Zaō is a very powerful cruiser in all respects. Compared with the preceding classes of heavy cruisers, Zaō had a greater number of main battery and AA guns, thick armor, and a reinforced torpedo armament. Year of design was 1941, and there were no ships in the series. All right, so that's it for the setup of the ship and the commander. Let's go out in a standard battle and check out some highlights. All right, so here we are in Two Brothers. We're checking out the teams. A couple of destroyers per side, whole bunch of cruisers, and 3 battleships on the red team, 4 battleships on the blue team. And yeah, first thing to talk about is how to acquire the Bureau projects. And in the store, you can either spend 5,000 doubloons or 30 million silver credits to pick up the Bureau project. And then after you pick up the Bureau project, and by the way, I've got a video about that whole deal, which I will leave a link to down below, and it'll basically explain the values of the doubloons versus the silver credits. If you have a big pile of silver credits, you might as well go ahead and use that. But once you get the Bureau Project, you are going to need the Myoko, the Mogami, and the Ibuki or Ibuki B in order to complete the Bureau Project at segments 4, 7, and 10. And if you don't have those tech tree ships or that one premium ship, you won't be able to complete the Zaō Bureau Project. So there is some restrictions you should be aware of. As far as the commanders go, you can use Yamamoto. He does have a couple of the fire starting skills that the current commander has. And yeah, but for this one, I decided to use the new Azure Lane commander, which kind of, in some ways, I think replaced Azure Lane Haguro, which had really superior fire capabilities. And here, this commander seems to sort of come close. I guess this is my third match in the Zaō, and I had used Yamamoto, and I did not I did not have the fire setting skills. I had beyond range set, and instead of igniter and those kinds of skills. So yeah, so you can use Yamamoto if you don't have the new Azure Lane Commander or Haguro. And yeah, so I don't know what's going on here with this destroyer, but he is shielding me right here. With two brothers, you do want to be kind of careful. A lot of battleships go out in the open water on either side of the map and get erased. So here, everyone likes the Drake. We're going to take a shot at the Drake, and there's an island coming up on me. I was kind of not really paying attention where the island was, and this sort of happened, but it seems like, yeah, if that's a Worcester over there that took a shot at me, and you can see how quick I backed up with the acceleration that the ship has. It does seem to accelerate pretty well, so that's why I didn't use the engine mod, and I used the steering gears. I think that's for upgrade slot number 2. The ship does seem to accelerate pretty good. Here they are missing me, and that is what you want to see when you have steering gears going, even though not really using much of the steering gears now. But here the Drake and the Worcester is really letting me have it here. The Worcester is broadside, and I am going to switch to armor piercing here pretty quick, and you're going to see what's going to happen to the Worcester and the kind of armor piercing capabilities of the Zaō. So here I switch to armor piercing. I've had enough of the HE on the Worcester, and we are just going to, well, see what happens in here. We have started a couple fires pretty quickly here, and yeah, so superior fire starting capabilities on the Zaō, as far as I can tell. I'm sure the commander has something to do with it. There are 2 citadel hits on the Worcester, 26,000 damage. Everybody's out of torpedo range, and there we go. The Worcester was behind that island, but he was target was available because the island indicator was gone, and there are 4 more citadel hits. So there you go, and he's still going broadside. So you really like to see this against the Worcester. He is kind of lighting me on fire though, but this round should take care of it. Right here, yeah, he's still going broadside. This is awesome. Not really sure why, but there's the steering gears right there. They did kind of miss, and he is gone with 2 more citadel hits. So you can see that when you do need steering gears, they are pretty effective, even though this is not really that much of an agile build. It's sort of an agile build with, I guess I was trying to get the best of all the different worlds of an agile build, HE, fire starting chances, and armor piercing, and I think that that's kind of what I have here with this Commander Haguro, I think it is. Can't remember all these commander names, what can I tell you? So anyway, rather than back up and try to negotiate my way around this island, I figured since I had progressed so far, it was quicker for me to just power on around and go around the edge here. And you can see I am way out on the edge over here, looking to get back into the game. and we are going to come over here and take a look at the Schlieffen. And I finally realized after a little while that Schlieffen has to be AFK. He is not really moving. So, yeah, so we are going to sit behind this island anyway, and we are not going to be spotted. I think even when a player is AFK, you still show up as being spotted when you're firing at them. And so here we're behind the island, and this is really, I think, how you want to position yourself with the Zaō, is behind the island somewhere so you can take a shot at somebody and you're not visible. So there is another fire, so now we're up to 3 fires, and we're sort of just getting started on the fire. So I'm going to stay right here and just keep nailing this guy as long as he's not moving around. See how many more fires we can start, and you can see how accurate we got. 11 hits out of 12 rounds right there on that guy, on that last salvo. So now we are up to 80,000 and counting. 7 more hits. One was a ricochet, but 6 of them did penetrate with the HE. So yeah, with the commander specs, with the penetration of the HE that we saw in the setup, that really, I think, does come into play right there. So we are easily going to go above 100,000 here. Schlieffen has 2 fires going. Some more fires. So yeah, so yeah, kind of bad, but kind of bad for the red team. Not really much of a replay, I guess, but you know, this is the game I have. This was really only my 3rd game in the Zaō, and it was my first game with the Azure Lane, the new Azure Lane Haguro commander. And yeah, another fire started. 6 fires. Are we going to get another fire and a destroyed ship right there? No, he gets taken out. But we are up to 120,000 damage. There is another Schlieffen. And we're going to start going on this guy. But I'm going to move behind the island. This guy is active. He is moving around. But we are behind the island, and we can get some hits. So high arcing shells here on the Zaō. And we got a couple more hits. We're up to 124,000 damage. Looks like we can get some more hits right here. And he gets taken out just before our rounds get there. So yeah, there you go. So we are so far out of position that my team is doing so well that these other ships are going to get removed before the end of the match. But we're going to try to come over here and capture the base anyway, or at least move in that direction. But the Zaō really does have superior HE starting chances, and even the armor piercing, as you saw. 8 citadels against the Worcester, and with as accurate as the ship is, it's just kind of unbelievable. You never know if they are going to nerf the ship or not, but as far as the getting back to purchasing the Bureau Project in the store, apparently the doubloon option is going to stay there for the long term, is what I've read online. In the past, the doubloon option was only available during the current campaign, and then your only option was credits. So both will be available here. That was a big time victory. We are done with the match. All right, well, there you go. That is the first match with Haguro as the commander. 281,000 credits, 124 total damage on 122 main gun hits, a destroyed ship, 6 fires, 8 citadel hits. Let's see how we did on the team result. Second place overall, 2,200 damage. Not bad. Congrats on the daring player, 2,600. And 79,000 credits by the time it was all said and done. And well, that is it for my first look at the Zaō. I really do think that I get the best of all the different worlds between trying to balance agile build, HE fire starting, and armor piercing. And yeah, if you don't have Haguro, give Yamamoto a try. You can try Mikawa. I think he does have Igniter, but that's more of an agile build only. So if you want to experiment with an agile build and you want to go the historical commander route, yeah, let me know what you think down below. I don't think it's a bad ship. I do like the ship. This is the Jaguar, and I'll see you on the high seas. Thanks for watching. Hit subscribe if you like it.